Yo, what is going on, guys? Your boy Forte's here. I also got my homie, because he's always my homie when we do these shows. He's my arch nemesis when we're on other podcasts, but he's home with me right now. So, yo, Slow Mo, what's going on, man? How you been today?
Yo, what is up, Forte? What's up, chat? Yo, today has been a very, very interesting day. I'm ready to get into it, though. Let's do it, man.
Yo, remember when you asked me like this week on like earlier today, you was like, hey, what we gonna talk about? I was like,
Yo, I'm gonna say that like every single time. Hey, yo, what's up, Hustle? What's up, Cali Rex? I'm gonna say that every single time, right? Because every time I say what we gonna talk about, some news pop out. Every single time, it's like I say, "Yo, we ain't got nothing to talk about." Then, boom, Halo Infinite delay. Boom, Sony said that DualShock 4 ain't gonna be. You can't play that nonsense on the PS5. It's just like every single time. So like that's what I'm gonna do every single time. I'm just gonna say, yo, we ain't got nothing to talk about. And
yeah.
then like some stuff gonna pop off. It's gonna be like, Ubisoft executives slap the taste out of EA executives' mouth. Let's talk about it. Like it's just gonna be
I
some
know.
randomness, yeah.
Look, it's crazy because I was sitting there listening when you. That's what took me a minute to see it. I was like, okay, well, did you look at the Night City Wire? And you was like, you was gonna look at it today. I don't need with all the stuff that's going on with you. I don't even know if you got a chance to even look at that.
Yo,
So so the gods have blessed us with this Halo Infinite news today because I was like, look, man, it's Microsoft's time to let some stuff out of the bag, and they kind of started over the weekend with I know everybody wants to get into the main topic, but they started over the weekend with like some controller links, man. Now how a lot of people in this community feel about controllers, because Xbox and controllers are synonymous with each other, especially when they're sitting on tables, different varieties and colors like Jolly Ranchers and stuff. So, Slomo, first of all, what do you think about the info around this new controller that we've been seeing?
first off, let me just say that at least I am not aware of the amount of leaks coming out of like for a console before launch like this before. I can't imagine a time prior to this. And I've been gaming for since 85, right? I'm that old, so I'm old, right? Been gaming for this long. And of course, as a kid, you don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. But I remember as a teenager, PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, all that stuff going on. And I remember like not saying, hey, this leaked out before the whole thing even launched. Like, what? Like, how are y'all why is it that you already are sending controllers for a console that doesn't come out for how many months now? What is it right now? August? It don't come out to November. Why is that stuff even in the wild? Like, why do you have a box that says, hey, don't sell this until November 6th? Like, I mean, you just basically, it's like a little kid in the candy store. You telling them don't touch anything. Someone somewhere is going to take pictures for clout,
Mm-hmm.
take videos. Look at what I got. Look at this. Look at the packaging for clout. Now, pretty much, and this keeps happening to Microsoft. And I know we already only 4 minutes in. I'm already ragging on them, but look, this keeps happening to them where their reveals for things keep getting leaked. Fable, we knew about Fable 2 years before they finally showed it. No big surprise there. It was expected. Now the Lockhart. No, I mean we've been known about that. That's been leaked for forever. And now, I mean, the name it's all over that box for the controller. It's just, come on, guys, come on. What do you think, man? I mean,
Yeah, you sound man. First of all, it's just super. All this stuff is. It seems like it's happening on purpose at this point because a lot of it's like for me. I think this is like one of the repercussions of everybody being afraid to say something, so everybody being quiet. And the closer you get to these consoles launching, like which we actually found out today. No surprise, November is going to be the date because I guess when they delayed Halo Infinite, they decided to let everybody know that the system that people I guess are looking forward to is coming out in November. So we at least know the launch month of the system now, but the closer we get to that month, the more stuff's going to leak out. And I think the fact that they're with the discontinuation of the Xbox One X and the all digital system, they still have the S still in production and stuff. With the discontinuing of those systems, there also is a reason that you don't see controllers in the ecosystem anymore right now. Like Xbox controllers are literally like looking for gold right now.
Really?
Like, yes, I like no lie, for the last 3 to 4 weeks, I probably gotten in my store 1 to probably no more than 3 shipments of controllers. And when I say shipments, I'm talking about 5 or 6 at a time. Ever since the pandemic started, that's all I've been getting. So
you think they're ramping down production on the Xbox One controller as well?
Because they're rolling this new controller out because the new controller will work on all platforms.
Yeah, but that's a dumb move when you've put packaging, when you have literature on the packaging of these new stuff that I mean, even the warranty is on there, which pretty much has now revealed to everyone what the launch date is, because you got the warranty stuff all over there, because your controller warranty is like for a year.
Yeah, but the thing I think, okay, so I don't think this was their idea. See, like, I think a lot of this wasn't their idea right off the back. I think a lot of this is being, their timetables are being a little bit more rushed due to everything going on with the pandemic. I think once the pandemic lasted as long as it did, like we're literally still in the middle of it, I think probably around, and like this is all speculation, probably around May, when they realize that our government doesn't know what the heck they're doing, and this is going to basically be the long haul at this point. At that point, I think that's when they decided to discontinue the other controller, because I think they planned on using that controller to go all the way up and through, August. But once manufacturing got impacted, once all that stuff started happening, I think that's when they said, look, we want to get this new controller out, but we need to start scaling back the other one. So that's why I think you're starting to see retailers have this, because I think this is legit. I think these retailers do have these controllers in stock, and the moment Xbox releases the Xbox Series S SKU and they say that is a thing, that's when they're going to start selling this controller.
Hey, real quick, one shout out to people in the chat. What's up, Silent Storm, Big Invisible, Dark Saya, Super Villain, what's up, bro? Polyus, Glorious War, our homie from Brat, Eric, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling about this Halo Infinite? Even though I hate the fact I won't be playing new Halo this year, I'm actually happy about it getting delayed. Yes. Hey, we're gonna get into that in a minute, definitely. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead and continue.
No, good. Oh well, Dark he asked a really good question. He said, do you think that they're going to do more of the creative controls when it comes to the controllers on the website? And yeah, they are going to do that more, because Design Labs isn't going anywhere. I think they are literally just making room to start publishing these newer controllers and getting them out in the ecosystem, because you don't have to have the new system to use these controllers, because pretty much they only changed 2 to 3 things. They added a share. Well, actually, they changed 2 to 3 things. They added a share button. They changed the D-pad to the Elite style D-pad, and they made it slightly smaller. That's it. That's all they did. So you're literally playing with the same controller that you always had, just a little bit more improvements on it. So this is just another instance where I think the more closer we get to these systems and everybody keeps playing chicken with each other, we're going to get to the point where this stuff is getting leaked more and more. But we do have a super chat from our man, the boss man, Basement Radio Podcast, $5 super chat. Woo! Sups Forte and Slow-Mo. By the way, delaying Halo Infinite was the right move. Hope 343i could deliver a solid game. Series X launching 11/5/20. Look, you know what? You got anything else to say? Because the controller thing was just to basically get some more people in the room. So you got anything else you want to say on this controller before we just dive directly into what everybody wants to talk about?
I think I'm definitely, you know, I game mostly on PC, and I don't plan on getting the Series X. Do think I will pick up the controller just because I really don't like the Xbox One controller. I never really was feeling it like that, but I just kind of just dealt with it. But ever since I've gone back to the 360 controller on PC, it's just far superior as far as and what makes it far superior is the bumpers and the size. It's smaller. It's a little bit like shapier. I guess that I know that's not a word. I'm trying to figure out how to say it, but the Xbox One controller feels bulkier, and when I go back to it, it feels cumbersome in my hand. So I like that the Series X controller is somewhat smaller, and I just want to try it out because if it's good, then I know I got a path to a new controller that I can go to, because finding legit 360 controllers, it ain't easy.
That's the reason I like the 360 controller. Like, I kind of converted a long time ago to be able to use the new controller, but I do get when you say that it's a little bit smaller of a controller, so it feels better in a hand, because it's like the perfect medium when it comes between the PlayStation 4 controller and the Xbox One. The 360 controller fits right in that little comfort space in the middle. The only reason I can't use like a 360 controller or anything at that point no more is because I'm so dependent on my Elite controller because of just muscle memory at this point. It's like when I pick up a regular controller, I feel lost, like really, truly lost in the button configurations of the controller. Takes a couple of times to get used to it again, but I just don't want to get used to it. So I'm with you. I probably won't buy the new controller because all the controllers I have at my house still work, and I'll predominantly playing with the Elite 2, but my system comes with a controller, so I don't have to buy one, I guess.
Dark asked me, do I have small hands? I'm like, no, man, because when the slap comes, hits people the entire
you ever seen
their face, you know?
You ever seen the fingerprints across people's faces? That's Slow-Mo's handprint every time.
No, I don't have small hands. It's difficult to say. I think it is the bumpers are just superior to the Xbox One controller, but facts. I think it's just something about the shape. My hands aren't small or anything. I'm a 6'4", 250 dude, so like I'm not a small dude at all. I got probably bigger than normal size hands. I don't have any problem reaching anything on the Xbox One controller. It just doesn't feel good, you know. And it's just I like the offset thumbsticks. I've always been about that. I think that's perfect for shooters. So for me, it's what I like. It's what I like. What's up, Big Mike? What's up, Ryan?
Yeah, the people's in here. That's what I'm talking about, man. You know, love everybody in the community, man, that be stopping by. I mean, I love you anyways, but you know, the fact that y'all showing love on a day like this is pretty crazy, and I'll always appreciate it. So
before we transition, let me shout out something that Eric just said, and I am feeling this 1,000%.
I see it. Yeah, go ahead.
I feel the delay is good. I'm okay with it because the reveal of Infinite wasn't hidden. It is funny that those of us who were critical were called non-fans, but down that 343 delayed, it's for the best, bro.
You know what? Before you launch into that, let me say one thing. Eric, you are absolutely correct, because the simple fact of the matter is, y'all know exactly how I feel about 343 as a company when it comes to making Halo games. I just felt like they are very subpar and they need new management, and everything about that company just sucks when it comes to making a Halo game. It doesn't mean that they're a bad development house. I just don't think they make good Halo games at all. This has kind of given me more of a glimpse of hope that this is going to get fixed some way or another, because I don't think the game in general is going to be bad. I just, like I said a tweet earlier, you know, shout out to Kid Smooth for going on a meltdown earlier. But like I told him, I was like, I don't want to have a watered down, bland looking Halo experience in 2020. That's not what we're here for. When you're releasing with a brand new system, a next gen system, you're expecting next gen properties to be a part of that. It's expectations in place. So I am happy that they did this because it gives me hope that not only 343 is listening to us, it gives me hope to let me think that Microsoft isn't just going to throw their biggest IP to the wind like a lot of us think they would do. But go ahead, Slomo.
All right, so I got a couple things to say about this. Now, the first thing, and I'm going to address something that Eric said. Back when after that reveal, me and Forte looked at it. We liked the gameplay. Mm-hmm. That's what we liked about it. The gameplay looked like the best that 343 has done in Halo. So that's the good. That's the good. The bad, we saw it immediately. The faces. What's up with the faces? What's up with this fake Atriox dude looking like something from 360, something from Brute Force? You know, what's up with this glued on beard for this guy? How come the only character model that looks good is the Master Chief? He's not the only thing in this game. What's going on with this? They got to improve that. The memes happen. People go in on them. Your Xbox, of course, people are going to go in on you. You have to be above reproach. You have to do more than what people expect in order to not get slandered. And you didn't. So you get slandered. I said, if this game isn't ready, if this is how the game is going to come out and look, you already said you could come out and say there's no ray tracing. Great. No ray tracing at launch, but you have hardware that can do ray tracing. This is supposed to be your showcase title. That's a problem. Some other rumors came out. They were pushed back on. Cool. But it looks like you're not ready. Then the other stuff comes out, things that I suspected about how the workflow was at 343, how they work as a company, how they rely on too many contractors, how there's not enough continuity going from game to game, causing problems in development. Now you got pulling people off of other games. Think about the implications of that. You have other studios who have their own games that are working on their games that have to stop working on their games to help you finish your game.
Mm-hmm.
That means not only is your game delayed, but it's pushing back development on their game too.
Yeah.
All this is going on. I said, delay the game. And people said, y'all not real Halo fans. How dare y'all not want Halo right now? And I'm sorry, and I don't want to be offensive to people who said that. But that is literally a brain dead, low IQ statement. And I'm not saying these people are low IQ, but at that time, they needed some breakfast. When they said that at that time, they needed a nap because they were not thinking very well. Why get a game early just to say, I got the game? I got Halo. What's more important? That the game comes out and it's a quality title. It's the best Halo that 343 has ever made. Or, hey, first time in a long time we got Halo launched for Series X. But it's an unfinished mess and it's not ready. And it gets the lowest Metacritic score that any Halo has ever gotten. Why? What does that benefit? And these would be the same guys going on meltdowns, crying about everyone picking on them, crying about how people are treating Xbox and the Xbox community. These would be the same people who would be like, the game ain't that bad. But it is. And this is why they're delaying the game. Like, think about this for a second. This flies in the face of the whole narrative that all they care about is Game Pass fodder.
Yeah, definitely.
It flies in the face of all that stuff because they're delaying their marquee title for the launch of the system to make sure it's right. That means they don't care about making sure Game Pass gets regular content. They want quality content. Think about these things. These people don't think about these things. And it's
Yeah.
just I don't understand how you people. I don't understand these guys. Why are you so tied up in the console war nonsense? No one cares about what other people say about your games. You should not care what other people have to say about your games and the games that you like. If you like Halo, you should want Halo to be the best Halo it can be, not to say, "Oh, look, we got Halo to go up against Spider-Man Miles Morales." That's console war nonsense. That
Which
has nothing to do with gaming.
What's more
Gaming.
important to them, Slow Mo? Do you think the box or Halo? Which one is more important?
I can't tell. I really can't tell if playing the games is even important to them at all, or more than just having a talking point to argue on podcasts.
Well, Xbox just told you which one was more important to them. They're willing to launch, and this is the thing, they doubled down. As soon as they put out that press release about Halo being deleted, I mean, not being deleted, being deleted this holiday, I should say, but coming out next year, they also put out a statement on Xbox Wire saying that the Xbox Series S is still coming in, and they actually gave you a month. They said it's coming in November. So I like the fact that this kind of told me a tale of two stories, because Xbox has finally came out and told you what really matters to them. The biggest thing was for me as a Halo fan is Xbox really going to put Halo out to the pasture and be shot to be killed? Because that's pretty much what everybody thought was going to happen, because they were going to launch this game with a system that shout out to Attic and shout out to Luca. Luca, I see you in the chat, girl. They were on there talking about it, and Attic said the point too. He basically said Xbox looks at Halo as the golden goose. You don't kill the golden goose for a system that you don't even care about people buying. You don't care about those people buying that system. You want people to be in Game Pass. And if you want people to be in Game Pass, you got to have compelling IPs to be in there. Halo wasn't hitting it. Halo was not doing what it needed to do in the eyes of the community. Shout out to Craig and all the different memes. Shout out to 343 for, having fun with the situation. But even more, shout out to Microsoft for coming up and actually saying, yo, this ain't right. And we got to do something about it. I kept saying the moment we saw it is like, dude, this game looks like it needs to be delayed. I don't want it to get delayed, but guess what? If it's going to be in the best interest of Halo, and if you're a Halo fan, you know what I mean. For the best interest of this game, it needs to be delayed. The game will live longer than the Xbox Series X will. It will be around way longer than this system. Halo has lived for 18 years actually almost 20 years at this point. Don't let the death knell be a mistake that you can definitely correct, because guess what? Everybody is willing to give you a second chance, especially if you come out with a trailer coming around E3 next year or whenever they get ready to release this game finally, and you blow everybody's socks off with the visuals, because like Slow-Mo said, the gameplay was spot on. I love the gameplay. It reminded me of what original Halo stood for. And I don't mind if they go with the aesthetic that they went for, but can we get some shadows put on these elites? Can we get some texture?
I do mind the aesthetic. I mind the art direction, because I want the brutes that I saw in Halo Wars 2. Not these hairless brutes.
You want the brutes that you saw in a cutscene in Halo. Well, let's be for real.
Hey, I'm sorry. Is it? We're talking about the monster, the system that eats monsters for breakfast. You telling me you can't do that?
Are you really gonna compare a cinematic to an actual game running an engine, Slow-Mo?
We're talking about next gen.
I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm just saying I'm being realistic in my approach when I think about this. I don't know that what you're asking them to do, you're not getting 60 frames.
I'm not saying it has to be photorealistic and all the detail. That's basically there.
What you're saying.
No. I said the art direction. I said the art direction. Did you see the brutes?
In the trailer?
Those brutes don't have. They're hairless brutes. They don't have any hair.
The ones. Well, no. Shout out to some other people, because there are species of the brutes that don't have hair.
Where
in Halo, it's literally you can look at it. They don't all have hair.
They do have some hair.
No, some of them don't have it. Have hair.
No. We can argue this all you want, but look, that ain't the brutes I seen. And we've seen them. They started in Halo 2. They started in Halo 2. They had hair in Halo 2.
There are brutes without hair, sir.
No. Yeah, these are the Halo 343's brutes. Yeah.
So listen. I get it. And you know what? I'm not against. Shout out to Bounty Boom. Thank you, Forte. Thank you for the $5 super chat, homeboy. Appreciate you a lot. But shout out to ATL showing love. Appreciate that too, man. Man, what is that? McDonald's fries in your thing? Please tell me those McDonald's fries or home cooked fries in your avatar. But back on subject.
Look.
But for real, I get what you're saying.
Art direction is different than strictly textures and amount of detail, and the amount of pixels you throw at a particular object. You can have a particular art direction and still have it look amazing. Look, we've seen amazing looking character models on base PlayStation 4. Nowhere near the amount of teraflops you got with an Xbox One X.
Well, I'll tell you,
all that's about is art direction. It's about art direction, and that's the issue. Is that people don't like the lack of when you have poor art direction and people see that you have lack of textures. It makes it even worse. When you look at that, look at Craig's face. It's even worse. He looks like something from original Xbox.
Okay, got you.
So that's what I'm talking about. We get gameplay looked solid. Of course, we haven't played it, so we don't know if it's a bit. It looked like what you would expect from a Bungie Halo. This is the closest they've got to that, right? But no ray tracing. Your lighting is bad. The pop-in is bad. The draw distance is even worse than the pop-in. You saw it when on the replay of rewatching the demo. You see how actual grass is only like a few feet away from the Warthog when he's driving. Even when you're running, and it's just like, yo, where's all the detail?
Right.
Like. And to go to something that someone said in the chat about 343, they don't trust 343. Well, you shouldn't trust 343.
You should,
because they haven't done anything to earn your trust. They haven't delivered a full Halo yet, and it looks like they almost didn't. And even now, look, this is what really concerns me now, because this delay can make the launch of the game good. Hopefully, that's what we all want, right? But all those additional 1,000 developers that are now working on the game, they're going to go back to doing what they should have been doing, which is doing their jobs and on their own games.
Well, that's if they can upload their games to the server without it breaking.
Right. But the problem is that this is supposed to be an ongoing game. That means that once the game launches, it's now up to 343 to continue that content. And do you trust them to do that when they couldn't launch the game? Like, this doesn't change the fact that changes need to happen. This is putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound.
Right.
It's good that they delayed it. It's good that they've had the understanding that needed to be done. But what would have been better is if someone actually looked at what they were going to show before the Xbox Game Showcase. And actually said, oh, we can't show this. We need to delay the game.
All right. Let me get
instead of waiting until after
the
backlash hits, and then you decide, oh, okay, we need to delay the game, because it just shows you don't understand what's going on.
Well, I get that too. Shout out to Mama Luca. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat. Oh, we monetized. Congratulations. Thank you, mother. You finally, mom just gave us a tip, man. Say thank you to your mom. Slow-mo.
Give me a second. Go ahead.
I said, mom just gave us a $5 tip. Say hi. Say thank you to your mother.
Give me one moment. I got my kid here. Go ahead, man.
Okay, you're good. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, so let me address some. So we got a couple people saying some things in there. Said Ryan Landis says that main villain at the end wasn't looking that hot either, even with the hair. So Slow-Mo, he said even with hair though, that brute looked pretty bad. Lucas says they're not changing that art direction, and that's how I kind of feel about it. It's like you kind of just got to accept what the art direction of Halo is going to be. I thought it was clean. It was the one thing I liked about it the most. It was really really clean. You could see pretty much everything that was going on. The problem is there was no shadows on anything. So depth perception of lighting in the game looked horrible. And when you don't have good lighting, a game just looks bad. That was probably one of the biggest faults of it. If they could have had some type of dynamic lighting in the game, the demo would have looked a heck of a lot better. But they still need to add some more 4K or whatever kind of textures they want to add to the game to make it even stand out more. So I think that's a bigger thing too. Big Mike says the world looks super empty. It needs more enemy AI, and absolutely correct. The one thing that kind of stood out to me was when you went up the elevator. And as you were going up, you didn't see you saw like the distance. You could see very far out. You could see other peninsulas on the ring that you could even see where the ring got cracked in the middle and it was debris falling all over it. But when you went up, all you saw was like a little hub of grunts here, a couple of things over there. Nothing that, the scale of what you're trying to present on a next generation system you would think you would see. Like when I go up that elevator, I'm expecting to see like a militia or a platoon of like Covenant sitting on the horizon, like probably like 30 or 40 of them in just one area alone, like a fortified position. That kind of speaks to what next generation needs to be more about the processing power that these systems are having, because they're touting the fact that yes, we do have a more powerful GPU, but they're also touting the fact that the CPU power on these systems, the compute units we're going to have, is vastly superior to next generation, and that cannot be understated. But the demo we saw, and never even be in effect that we didn't even see it on an Xbox Series S, we saw it on a spec PC. But that's what we need to see in the next generation, and that's kind of not what we saw in this demo. But I just think overall, Microsoft is in a situation where they just need to sit back and reevaluate what's going on with the Halo IP, because somebody else said it in the chat. They said that something heads need to roll. Sam Walton said heads need to roll for this one. Trust me, I think more than heads are going to probably end up rolling on this in the end. We may not hear about them. They may not be the moves you want to happen, but something's going to happen, because in order to delay $1 billion IP like this by almost 6 months to a year, because to Slow-Mo, they didn't give us a date on when this is coming back. They said 2021. That's any time in 2021. So you're talking about anywhere from a 6 month to a year delay, probably. Oh, something's going to happen to somebody at 343, and don't be surprised if you never even hear about what happened there. But what do you think?
I'm not sure of that.
You think they're just going to let this be?
So they haven't impressed people. They haven't delivered on 2 previous Halo games before this. Why is this any different? What is the
visually? Because the one thing we can't say about Halo 4 and Halo 5, that visually they were spectacular.
No, but it's something. It's always something with them. With the first game, visually fine, campaign great, multiplayer trash.
Okay.
Second game, visually fine, multiplayer fine, campaign trash. Here we go. Now visually trash. Maybe since you always seem to rely on so many contractors, maybe you should have converted some of these people to the people who were delivered on their portion of the project into full-time employees. And maybe you would have had some continuity, had some improvement over the years. It's been like a decade of mediocrity for this franchise, this showcase franchise for Microsoft, for Xbox. That's not acceptable. And I don't see, look, how many times you guys see games come out from first party that are subpar?
Man.
I don't see the backbone. You know, I don't see, like, if this was Sony or Nintendo, hell yes, heads will roll. Hell yeah. Someone is going to fall on the sword and some director is going to be shown the door and there's going to be changes. But that doesn't really seem to happen here.
Yeah. Well, first of all, shout out to my fire team. Destiny fire teams always support each other. Sir Taz says, I'm glad they delayed it. Don't have to balance my time between D2 Beyond Light and Halo Infinite now. Ash and Luca follows him up saying me too. So I concur with that 100%. That was the one thing that I was truly worried about when Halo came out, because I always told people if Halo's good, Destiny's in the bushes at least for a little bit, because everybody wants to play something that they truly love. And as much as I love Destiny, Halo is always going to be first love when it comes to that game. But no, you're absolutely right, Slow-Mo. I think the biggest thing is, where does Xbox go from here, especially when it comes to the Xbox Series S, because the X, because they are still releasing this system. So we don't have any first party titles that's coming out with this system. So,
Oh yeah, they do.
What they
kind of sorta.
Yeah, what do they got?
Gears Tactics.
That's not already out, sir. We're not talking about stuff it's
already out on PC. If for console guys, it's gonna be brand freaking new. But congratulations. I know it's not what they want or what they want to hear, but that's what you got. You got that. You got Game Pass, and you got a bunch of third-party games that hopefully will perform better than they do on PlayStation.
Yeah, Dark says they got Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk is definitely going to. Shoot, at this point,
everyone has Cyberpunk. Even freaking Stadia is going to have Cyberpunk.
Everybody has Cyberpunk, but the biggest thing about Cyberpunk is, as much as that game impresses me every time I see it, especially with the latest Night City Watch video that they put up, Night City Wire, I should say, I was very impressed with that. I still don't think that game's coming out this year.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Look, thank you, Julian, for mentioning Metroid in the chat. So you guys remember last year when Nintendo came out and said they delayed Metroid Prime?
Yes, I do remember that.
Not only did they delay Metroid Prime, but the team they had on it, they just canceled that build of the game.
Sure did.
And gave it back to who was it? Retro?
I think that is who it is. I haven't really been keeping up with it.
Yeah, so I can't remember whoever the original developer is. Their name escapes me right now. But whoever the original developer for Metroid Prime is, they gave it back to them to make it sure it's done correctly. This is how, when you make a managerial mistake and you make higher up director level mistakes and missteps, you correct it. And then you fix the problem, because the issue isn't the animators or the narrative team or the programmers at 343. All those Glassdoor reviews said all those people are extremely talented, very brilliant, but they're cogs in the machine. They can only do what they're told.
Right.
They can't, if the workflow is broken, if management is given bad direction, if you're developing a game on a different engine and then say, oh, no, forget that, we're going to make our own engine now. Like, these aren't decisions that they can't, like, they can't supersede those decisions no matter how much they may disagree with them.
No, I agree. And everybody's telling you, Retro Studios is who.
I thought it was Retro. I guess, I'm not into the Nintendo ecosystem like that. So I
don't know, man. I told you was going to buy a Switch. You said, I ain't never buying no dang Switch.
I never said that.
They ain't got nothing I want.
I never said that. I said when the Switch provides a game I want, I will buy it. Eric is in the chat. He was in the DM when I said it, so he knows. Now, give me a moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, Slow-Mo's taking off again. He got to go handle some family business. No, so no, I agree. Let's see what people are saying here. Couch Gaming says they should have done that after the MCC debacle. Look, man, and I think that's another reason why I feel like 343 is just super incompetent. Because I actually enjoyed Halo 4 and Halo 5. I thought Halo 5 was not a bad game. It was just badly marketed. They did not do themselves no favors when it came to the way they marketed that game. You literally had people thinking you're going to get this epic showdown between Chief and Locke, and it ended up not being that at all. Ended up being something completely different. and you built a TV show, a movie off of it, and spin-offs and everything, and people are just very disappointed in the direction they took that game. So it just made people instantly not like it. But for me, the Campbell, the back got broke for me when it came to 343 when you had a chance to port MCC over to Xbox One, and they couldn't even do that. Like, you literally had 3 games or 4 games that was completely finished, and you tried to do this Frankenstein thing of putting them all together and making it this coherent universe where you can jump between games and multiplayer will take you from one map to the other, and you couldn't, that was so ambitious you couldn't pull it off in the way that you wanted to, and you broke games that worked perfectly fine before you put your hands on them. So I'm like, if you can't even make games work that 100% work before you got your hands on them, how can I trust you to make a brand new game in a franchise I love? You know, so that was like kind of the tipping point for me when it came to 343. I'll never write them off because they can always fix the problem, but I just have to see it. Just like a lot of people in this community, like Lord Attic, you know, shout out to him. He said, I just got to see 343 put a good game together. You know, shout out to Luca. She loves Halo 5's multiplayer. I know she's looking forward to playing Halo because, you know, she knows all of us like playing Halo, and that's the biggest thing. We're all a family, and we like to play these games together, and we like to support each other. That's why she plays Rogue Company with Slow-Mo all the time, because it's not about just the game, it's about the people you play it with. And Halo is one of those games that brings people, families, gaming communities, all of that stuff comes together. So the fact that they finally made a decision to just say, look, man, the Craig memes are fun, but this needs to stop. Yo, and how are we going to fix this? And when are we going to bring this game out again?
Shout out to Couch Gaming, who said Master Chief Collection multiplayer was unplayable for 6 weeks after launch. It was, dude. That is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
That everyone in top management at 343 should have been shown the door.
Yes.
Fix it. It's done. It's fixed now. Okay, thank you. Give me your laminate key card. Clean out your desk. Here's a box. Good luck out there. That's what should have happened, because that should not happen again. But what has happened ever since then? Everything they launched since then has had issues at launch. Everything. It's a 343 special.
Yes, I can't agree more with you on this.
It's just like nothing's going to change if you don't change the people who refuse to do anything any differently than they already do it.
I agree. I can't disagree with you on that, man. It's like, this is what, and this the thing. We've been saying this for the last few years, ever since, dude, even when we saw that Halo trailer for the first time and he pulls Master Chief out of space and it looked all good, and we was like, the game ain't gonna look like that, y'all. It looked good. The game ain't gonna look like that. I'm just letting y'all know that now.
Exactly. And even then, that soldier character model, I was like, yo, he don't
the greatest.
He don't look all that. I'm like, I hope this is just like early build stuff. They're still working with the engine. He won't look better. Now he even looks worse now than he did in that trailer. So it's like, oh, so like, I go back to what I said last week on, you know, when we did this on my channel. Is this a slip space problem?
Ooh.
Are we having some problems with the new engine? And I know some people are going to push back on that, but I don't know how you're going to push back on that. You never seen a slip space engine game before. You never played a slip space engine game. It's a brand new engine. How can it not have problems? We laugh at some of these other trash engines all the time. Frostbite, Creation Engine, the old Eclipse engine that BioWare used to have, where all the characters move the exact same cadence and animation. We do this all the time. So what? Or is 343 in the slip space engine exempt from that? No. Is the engine the problem? Is the engine the reason why is it using up too much memory? Is that the issue? Is it a logic issue? Is it a sound? Not sound, but it clearly is a visual issue. What is the problem here?
Yeah. Shout out.
Because clearly there's an issue and you got to fix it. And then once it's fixed, you have to fix your other issue. The other issue that is a consistent problem with how you do business at 343. This is part of the other flip side of the coin to this limited integration strategy that Microsoft has, where they're like, hey, you could be your own little fiefdom, your own like your own culture. We don't mess with that. You know, even though we own you, you're still you. You know, hippie stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Just make whatever you want. You want to make Grounded? You want to make some Honey I Shrunk the Kids Survivor? Go ahead, man. Make that. Here's some money. Go ahead and do it. You want to make Bleeding Edge with the ugliest character models we've ever seen that make kids throw up when they look at them? Go ahead, man. You do that. You want to make look. And that's great for studios that have been doing this for decades, and all they needed was the money to do the wrong thing, and need you to just get the freak out their way and let them be them. Obsidian, Ninja Theory, those guys don't need your guidance. They got it. But 343 ain't never proven anything.
Oh my god! So no, I get you. Racer X Gundam says, any ideas on what the name of the show is going to be? So we're going to reveal that at a later date. We do have the name of the show. We're just getting the artwork and stuff put together for it. So within the next probably week to 2 weeks, you guys will get a unveiling of what the new show is going to be. But we already have the name, and we'll be letting people know that over the next week or so.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Fire Boss. What's up, dude? I think he said what's up to me earlier, and I forgot getting a chance to miss it.
Yeah, you were in red mode.
He's talking about Marcus Leto. He said, dude who co-founded Bungie and went on to develop Disintegration should have been brought in as a new 343 lead. Look, Marcus seems like a very cool guy, but no,
not
because Disintegration. Disintegration bombed.
Wasn't that your first video on that game, Slow Mo, too?
That wasn't my first total video, but that was like my first like indie game that I featured, and I was real high on it until I played the beta, and I was like, yo, something's not right here. And then I was like, I'm trying to find the positives in it, but I'm not having fun. And so I did my video on it, and I was like, even in my video, I was trying to find positives, but it really wasn't fun. It was really shallow. And I'm like, I like unique ideas in first-person shooters, but this game didn't feel good. And like for Marcus Leto, I mean, like the guy, he was one of the co-founders of Bungie. He was also the lead creative director for Halo Reach, which is a nice feather in his hat. But prior to that, the dude was just the art director. So and the art direction for the character models in Disintegration are great. They're great. It's just that everything else isn't. So I don't know if he is the one they need for 343. They need someone else new, but just anyone else new isn't the move. I think you gotta have somebody in there who's the right fit and can bring a different culture to the studio. Because I bring up those Glassdoor reviews. It's pretty bad, man. The culture there is bad, and the culture is integrated into the company from the top. That's where the culture starts at, and you got to change that. If you want to get rid of it, you got to cut it off at the head, and the head's got to go.
I just saw Ryan Landis talking about how he's playing Halo CE right now. I don't know if he's playing on Steam, or I know he's playing on PC at least, on Steam or on Game Pass. But he said he hasn't had any problem. It runs good for him right now. And I wonder how much, because we know that 343 is the one that's working on these games. I wonder how much attention the development house is putting on bringing these games over to PC versus working. I mean, I know the majority of the studio is working on Halo Infinite, but how much of their resources is going to making the release of all these other games? Because people seem to forget that they want to have.
Oh, you mean the Master Chief Collection on PC?
They want to have all 5 games.
Oh, they're not doing that. Saber Interactive.
Oh, so Saber. Okay, so someone is okay. I didn't know.
They outsourced that to Saber Interactive, who've been doing a somewhat decent job. But I also think that the project is very, it's very ambitious. Like what they had planned on doing, like for a full year, we're just going to slowly release all the content. I know that was one to help Saber be able to get all those games ported over to PC with all the options that PC gamers like, and to remaster the visuals, so on and so forth. But even then, it's still really. I mean, these are full-fledged games. Yes, older games, but still full-fledged games that you're remastering, and every single one of them came out with some issues. Buggy, Halo 2, all kinds of sound issues. The guns don't sound right. Halo Reach sounded like they were shooting their guns inside, like they were like fake guns being shot inside of a barrel. It sounded horrible, and they fixed it, but it's like
fixed it.
It's always something. It's always something. Halo 3 has been the best one so far. Best.
Well, remember what Marty O'Donnell said? Did you watch that interview that he did with Hidden Xperia?
Yeah.
So you remember how he was talking about how they changed all the sounds in the game and some of the sequences were off due to the port of bringing it over to PC and bringing it over to the original Xbox. They didn't use any of the original source material because they built it from the ground up. And since they didn't consult with him on any of the remastering of the game, because he has all the original sound files for the game, and since they didn't talk to him about the stuff, basically had to do everything by ear.
Yo, I gotta say this. Look, I fully respect Marty O'Donnell. I really do.
You about the cap?
Yeah, I'm not capping. I'm not capping. I will be capping. Like that, I'll be capping if I believe. I'll be capping if I believed everything he said.
Oh, I don't believe he says.
Marty O'Donnell seems like this guy gets pushed out everywhere he goes, and people don't really like to deal or work with him. I think, look, I don't know the guy personally, of course, none of us do, but then you just look at like his career, and he's brilliant when it comes to like the Halo sound, the crap, like that's him. Like he cultivated that. It's ingrained in the franchise. Like
you really called the monks crap.
Look, man, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
you just talking about
atmosphere. He created all that. Like all they're doing is remixing what he already created with further future Halo games.
That's true.
That said, the dude, I think he's a problem. He's difficult to work with. So much so that they could have used his talents, and they said, you know what? No. Like he might be on a Cliffy B level of, you know what? The guy's brilliant when it comes to making games, but no, just can't do all the other intangibles. He ain't got it.
Yeah, you might be
work ethic / being able to work with people, teamwork / not getting on everybody's damn nerves every single day. Like he ain't got that, because it's just the fact that he admitted that I can't remember what it was. What the people were told not to speak to him multiple times. I can't remember the first time, but it seemed like it was like one time with Bungie when it was dealing with Microsoft, and then another time, that when they were almost going to go with Microsoft for Destiny, and then another time when he got forced out of Bungie over Destiny with Activision. And it's just like, no one else seems to be speaking out about the things that happened at Bungie.
For real, it looks like they were right about the Activision thing.
Right, they were, but it just seems like it. Look, if the person who's telling you this is a bad idea is like, you're an effing idiot, you stupid morons, all of you suck, you're idiots, this is a bad idea. No one's going to listen to what you had to say, because you spent like 30 seconds insulting them before you finally said what you should have just said, right? So like you're like your own worst enemy. And so that's why I'm just like, him saying, hey, they could have came to me for the sound. It's just like, yeah, I guess they could have, but then you're still a dick. So
yeah, I mean,
no one wants to talk to you.
The one thing I can never say about Marty is no one really knows the whole situation, because when the other sides aren't saying anything and all you're hearing is from one side, you kind of you don't want to just take face value of one person's telling you.
Right. It's very telling that he says slanderous things and there's no response.
Yeah, there's no response at all. It's like they're almost thinking like you're irrelevant. We don't even have.
Yeah. You're just hurting yourself by continuing to keep talking about this kind of stuff and the things that you say. It's not even worth addressing, and it's just like that's where you are.
All right, so
yeah.
Let's move on to this. So we know we both believe the delay is good. We think that it needed to happen. It needed to happen way earlier than it happened, but I'm happy that it finally happened because it gave me a glimpse of hope that Microsoft is not just trying to lead us down this road of services and not give us compelling content to go with it. Because guess what, guys? If they really, truly didn't care about giving you really good content, Halo will still be coming out this holiday with the Series X. So I think this is like a step. Now, this doesn't mean we take our foot off the gas and say, hey, we just want to know, the next thing that's coming out and everything. No, we got to keep putting the pressure on them and say, hey, these games got to live up to par.
It also doesn't mean that the game is going to look better and be amazing when it comes out. You will hope so, but it
definitely doesn't mean that. I think they're going to stick with the same art style. I think, me personally, like I said, we differ a little bit. I think the art style is fine. They just need to do a lot of work to make it stand out, because they can definitely do it. Because think about like Halo 3 and Halo 2, even in their remaster states. Yeah, they don't look as clean as Halo Infinite look, but they looked almost better because of just textures and stuff like that being added to the game. So I think that's the next step. But for me, like I asked you earlier, how do you think this is going to affect the Xbox Series S when it does come out at the end of this year?
I think this is going to be a blow to them on a marketing level. They've been marketing Xbox Series X and Halo together.
Yep.
Like, people who were interested in getting the console were doing so with the thought, at least somewhat in the back of their mind. They may not be the biggest Halo fan, but at least in the back of their mind, hey, I can try this Halo Infinite out.
Yep.
And now they can't. And so when your competition is going to be marketing Spider-Man, freaking Spider-Man, that already has enough brand loyalty, brand identity, and mind share with the not just the overall gaming community, but the casual gamers are looking at the game like, oh, I remember that Into the Spider-Verse movie. That's the same character, right? They got a game for him.
Yeah,
I gotta cop that. Look, I know people who don't even think about video games like that. Talk about they getting a PS5.
Right.
It's like an iPhone. It's the iPhone of gaming. Everyone's gonna get one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got one of the biggest superheroes ever coming out for it. You needed to have your marquee icon there. Now, I'm not saying they should just push it out there anyway, but we can't ignore the fact that this hurts. It needed to happen, but it still hurts. So, like, these two things are mutually exclusive. Like, it hurts them this holiday, and they're going to need to find something else to market to people. And I know they're going to try to push Game Pass, but Game Pass got to have content that people want in November.
Yeah.
So they may need to spend some money to make sure that happens. Maybe spend some money to get something that people wouldn't expect to be in Game Pass, launching in Game Pass.
Yeah. So shout out to Saudi. He says he shared it out on Twitter. Appreciate that, bro. He also said the delay is good for Halo Infinite, bad for the Series X launch. And I kind of agree with that. I disagree, but I agree. It depends. Like, I think for the short term, this isn't going to hurt the Xbox because it's coming out during the holidays, and whatever systems they were going to manufacture for this holiday and release, we're going to sell regardless, even because it's just the demand at launch of a brand new system is always higher than what you can produce. So they're going to sell out of those systems no matter what.
Where the first stock, yes.
Yeah, the first stock.
Because there's enough hardcore Xbox community gamers to take care of that first stock.
So
but after that first stock,
it's going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's going to fall off a cliff because I honestly believe
jump off a bridge is what it's going to do.
Yep, exactly. I honestly believe November, December, you won't find any of these systems in stores before Christmas. After Christmas, you're going to see the apparent difference between Xbox and PlayStation when it comes to the games, because that's when you'll see PlayStation's not on shelves. You'll see Xboxes. They'll still be not the easiest to find, but if you work hard enough and look hard enough, you'll find an Xbox after the holiday.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to be the biggest thing.
I got an idea for you. This is my idea of how you figure out a way to pivot in a way that will push hardware. You don't have Halo.
Yep.
You don't have any more. You got the medium and you got Gears Tactics and that's it. Those aren't going to push. Those aren't system sellers.
I think I know where you're going, but yeah, finish up.
You're going to have to undercut Sony.
Oh, they're going to. That's happening. I think that's happening.
You have to go low.
You do. And not by just $50.
You're going to have to be, the Series X needs to be $100 cheaper than PS5 to even get people to look its way. It's the same thing. Remember back when 2K, people liked 2K and they weren't shady bastards, and they still had the ability to make NFL games, and they made NFL 2K, and it was a superior football game. It was a superior football sim to Madden, and Madden was just coasting because they're Madden and everyone bought it, and people didn't even look at the competition to realize the competition was a better game. I'm not saying the Xbox Series X is a better console than PS5. But
Saudi just threw up in his mouth when you said median and Gears Tactics.
This is what I'm saying. You have to, when people won't even look your way, you have to give them an incentive to even give you a shot. Being super dirt cheap. I didn't say they were all right, all gen. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say you said that. I was posing a thought to you. You said they'll be all right. I said what they're doing now is what we've seen from them all gen. They ain't been all right, all gen. I ain't gonna think they're gonna be all right now. So that's what I'm saying. Now,
right.
The only way you can get people to look your way, to give you a shot, is if you give them an incentive to do so and make them feel like they're not risking a lot to give you a shot. That Xbox Series S needs to be $200.
Yep.
$200 for that, $400 for the Xbox Series X. Even though your hardware is more powerful than the PS5, it doesn't matter. No one cares that you're more powerful. You don't have the games they want, and you're not the brand they want. So you're going to have to be cheaper to get people to look at you. Period. Yep. Just if you don't do that, it's an immediate L. You're not going to win. You're not even going to compete. This is why, like, all these analysts are like, oh, well, they're going to get outsold 2-1. And they probably, I think it might even be a bigger margin than that, especially if they go same price. If your same price is PS5, oh, yeah, easily 3-1. They're going to outsell you. They're going to be marketed in more countries because you don't market in other countries, in other regions. And even in this region, you don't have the mind share. So, yeah, you need to make it so, like, man, I could get a Series S for $200 and still get my PS5, and at least I got something for some of those other games I'm interested in. You got to do something. Like, you have to do that in order to, even though it hurts, but you got the money for it. You're good for the money. You're Microsoft. You're gonna have to do that in order to compete. If not, we know how this movie ends.
We know how the movie started.
Yeah, exactly.
The movie started just like the last movie started. Just a different narrative.
This is one of those movies where they show you the ending at the beginning, and they
At the
show you how,
beginning,
and then they go on to show you how you got there. But we've already seen all this before, so it's just like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie before. This is it's like one of those Netflix TV shows that keep showing you the same TV show with a different name every other year.
Oh Jesus Christ! They're popular though for some reason. Look, I agree. Another thing I think the reason and Lucas said it in the chat. She said they're still around and making money, so they'll be fine and they'll continue to be fine. No one expects anything from Xbox. That's true.
I think some people do.
No, it's true to an extent, because I think the majority of people that play games don't expect anything from Xbox, because most of those people are Nintendo, PC. Well, probably not PC as much anymore, because PC gets the chance to dibble and dab in the games that Microsoft makes. But especially PlayStation and Nintendo, they really don't care. So, but there is a subset of the people that do play on Xbox that really truly do care about where they're going. But I do agree, they are going to still be fine because they still have Game Pass, and as long as Game Pass is profitable for them, or it becomes profitable, they'll be fine. But I think for the majority of most of the people in this chat, Game Pass isn't going to just be enough for them. They have to have that compelling IP that's going to make them want to stick with the system, because everybody's not like, as much as I'm still getting my Series X day one, and it's not because of Microsoft. And like, shout out to Lucas, said it earlier in her live stream, I'm getting it for third party. If I want to have the best experience on a console that I can have when it comes to my third party games. Now, that's also tied to where the ecosystem where my friends play at. So that's why I choose Xbox Series X over PlayStation. Not saying I'm not getting a PlayStation 5, because I'm getting that day one too. So I can afford everything, and that's the best way that you could go into this whole conversation. So you don't have to have, you don't have to put up any type of defense about how you feel and stuff about things. But I just feel like,
I mean, no one should feel they have to do that anyway. They shouldn't. You shouldn't have to defend, how you feel about things. You shouldn't have to defend
yourself. So,
but I will say that they are at a point now, they're almost on Nintendo's level when it comes to being a secondary console. Now, they're still a direct competitor to the PlayStation, of course. But
I don't think there's so many Nintendo when it comes to that.
They're not there yet, but they're getting there because
Nintendo sells more.
Yeah, but Nintendo sells way. But Nintendo they're in a different.
They're in a different classification because they appeal to everybody. Yeah, they compared it. They literally appeal to everyone, and they still can be a main system in your house too. And it's kind of rare to have a platform like that.
I think a very small percentage of hardcore gamers look at Nintendo as my main platform.
No, none of them. Very few. But there's way more people. There's way more people that will, like, if you think Xbox and PlayStation, you'll always say, oh, those are the main system in my house. Nintendo will always be that little brother to that system that you have. It's just the fact that Nintendo they truly found a way to galvanize the bigger base when it comes to like the casual base, because everybody's growing up. They always remember their experiences with Nintendo. They have kids that they know that's the safest.
Well, I mean, I understand that completely, but what I meant by becoming more of a secondary console is that there are very few gamers now, like looking at all the demographic, that look at Xbox and say, that's my primary platform. I get Xbox first, and then I'll get PlayStation. It's usually the other way around. They either I'm just getting a PS5, or I'm getting PS5, and then eventually I'll probably get an Xbox. Or now that when they launch the Series S and people really see that plus price, they say, I'll get my PS5 and I'll grab a Series S because it's cheap, and it's good that I can have that in a different room, and there's cross play for this particular game I play. So sure, why not?
So Arrow Demon says Valhalla, Watch Dogs, Destiny 2, Cyberpunk 2077 marketing won't compel people to buy an Xbox Series X.
No, because they're going to get all that on their PS5.
Yeah, they're going to get it on PS. But on top of that, I don't think Microsoft has anything to worry about this holiday when it comes to the Series X, because they're going to sell out of those regardless, just because it's a new system. They have a problem when it comes to the first quarter, like it comes to the second quarter of next year. When it comes to January, February, March, and April, that's where their problem is going to come in. So those games that they name
next year is
they're going to be
really
fine.
important.
Their numbers are going to be comparable to PlayStation. You're going to see pretty much the same amount of sales depending on who can market it and not market it, but manufacture the most systems. Basically, that first quarter, whoever can get the most system out is going to be the leader. That's basically how that first quarter is going to go. After that, that's where you're going to see the divide, because if I think this might help Microsoft in some small stint, depending on when they can get Halo Infinite out. Because I think Halo Infinite was coming out in a very crowded month, as it was already. Yes, it's coming into Game Pass. Yes, you'll be able to play it on PC and all these other places. But you're going to be fighting with games like Destiny. You're fighting with games like Valhalla. You're fighting with Cyberpunk. You're fighting with all of these different games. Now, this is an opportunity for them if they can get it out in, let's say they can get out in the spring, March, maybe summer. But then they have a chance to have. Then they have it all themselves at that point.
You can't rush it though, because look, imagine the response if after this delay and it's still not ready and you still released it.
Oh no, you don't release this. No, what I'm saying, this only works if they can physically actually fix the game and get it out, which I don't think they can.
This is what needs to happen when Halo Infinite launches. It needs to have the two separate builds that they were working on, the Xbox Series build and the Xbox One consoles build. Both of those need to be complete. They need to have a post-production process. And what that means is that post-production phase is all bug fixes and troubleshooting. Right. So that it is, for once in a 343 game, a polished game. It's in post-production is where the directors start playing through the game and start noticing things. This doesn't flow right. This part here doesn't flow right. We need to add some things here. We need to add some other things here. Mm-hmm. You go back, you add some touches. That post-production phase, Rockstar does that. Naughty Dog does that for a full year. Everyone does that. Everyone who makes quality titles that are ready at launch and not buggy messes do that. They need to do that. That needs to be done. The ray tracing needs to be in there. All the bells and whistles that they've been bragging about the hardware need to be on full display when that game comes out. That's when you launch it. And if that takes to November 2021, then so 2022.
Yeah. At this point, once you delay it, it's delayed. It's delayed. I wouldn't even sniff a date on that thing until until you can show a competent beta of that game and say we're ready for prime time. Right. That's when you roll that out. So I agree. But let's move because we pretty much killed this whole Halo thing. Halo needed to be delayed. That's nothing against 343, nothing against Microsoft. I'm just happy they did it because people literally were out there thinking they were going to send this game out to its death. Because if they would have released it, that would have been
in the chat that Artemis just said. What's up, Artemis? We see Artemis all the time.
Yeah, what's up, Artemis? Go ahead.
I love his opinions. He disagrees with us often, but I like how he comes in and he has a very measured and reasonable response to us. So my response to his thought here, he said, when casuals see those commercials that say play and look best on Xbox, they will buy it. Artemis, my response to you was, how did that work out for the Xbox One X? Because that's how they marketed the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And that didn't outsell the PS4. The thing is that here's a great example. I'm going to go to the phone market. You got people who are just straight up for iPhone no matter what.
Yeah.
You could tell them to your blue in the face that Android's got all these features that iPhone still haven't even sniffed yet. You just got features that we've been had for 3+ years. iPhone users don't care what you have to say.
Nope.
They don't care. They want their iPhone. You can talk about third-party games, multiplats, performing better on Xbox, and people are going to say, "Ill, it's Xbox." That's just the mindset. So the only way to change that is to have games that people say, "Oh man, you know, like I know it's on Xbox, but that game looked fire. I gotta play that." And they don't have that killer application. They don't have that killer IP yet. Maybe one of these 15 studios can deliver that. But as of right now, nah, they ain't got that. So until they get that, this is the way things are going to be. And unfortunately, that's something they have to work their way out of. But until then, having better playing version, just because your version of Avengers runs at 10 frames better with a more solid resolution and better and higher graphical settings than the PS5 version, doesn't change the fact that dudes whose friends play on PlayStation and it's a multiplayer game that's multiplayer are going to get it on PlayStation because their friends play it on PlayStation, and they're not going to buy it on Xbox to play by themselves.
I can't disagree with you on that. Yeah. That's pretty much
he agrees with us. Cool.
Yeah, he agrees with that. So and shout out to Guapzilla. Finally, he late as usual. He should have been here earlier to hear what we had to say earlier, but he said
most multiplats run better on PS4 Pro than One X. No,
they didn't.
You got some every now and then.
Yeah.
But no, you look at Digital Foundry stuff. I mean, they even got tired of saying it. The hierarchy was One X, PS4 Pro, PS4, One S. Yeah, and that's the
basement Xbox.
That is the hierarchy of performance on literally every single game that they would do deep dives on. So
and the biggest thing that people got to realize, this isn't, y'all got to kind of separate the performance of what the system is to what these developers are doing in these games. Just because the Xbox Series X doesn't look like it has a game that could take advantage as of right now, that could take advantage of what they want to show off as next generation, doesn't mean that system's not capable. Because the stats on that system is very, very capable. They just don't have the talent, or they're still maturing the talent that's going to finally give you those experiences on that system. So I always tell people to take a chill pill when it comes to like saying that system is trash just because it hasn't shown anything worthy of you buying it for, which is absolutely the case. But when it comes to the power of that system, that's undeniable. The system is very powerful. We just got to see games take advantage of it, and unfortunately Microsoft hasn't done a good job in that regard compared to Sony and everything that they showed off, making sure that it actually worked and ran on a PS5, where as of right now, not one single thing that Xbox has shown us has ran on an Xbox Series X, which is kind of surprising. But ultimately the specs alone on the system says that it's going to be better, but there's always a wait and see approach on that. But you got anything else you want to say on this, Slumber, before we move on?
Not really. No. Again, Guap, I'm not going to go through it with you on all the games that do that. I'm just saying, like they've said it multiple times. Most games run better on the One X. You can spot check certain games that run better on Pro, and those get talked up in the community because that's not the majority. So of course, that's the ones that people gravitate to. That's the way the mind works. But whatever.
I think Microsoft's golden bullet is, remember when Sony released that bundle that came with it came with Horizon. I believe it was Horizon, God of War. What was the other game it came out with?
Horizon.
It came Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. It was 3 games. It was a 3-game bundle.
Spider-Man?
Well, I don't think it was Spider-Man, because Spider-Man had his own bundle.
Okay, well, when did this come out?
It was the year before Spider-Man released. It was the Spider-Man.
That couldn't have been possible.
Spider-Man. You're right. Could have came out the same year as God of War. Spider-Man was the Black Friday bundle. That was the one that they did for Black Friday. But there was a bundle they had for the whole holiday. It was 3 games. I can't remember what 3 games. I know God of War was one of them, but it was 3 first-party games that came in that bundle. The reason I say that I think what's going to happen is Microsoft's marketing play is they're going to throw all the games that you get in Game Pass, like the big ones, on the box. Because when people see a box with a bunch of games on it, especially like very high profile games, it kind of makes that bundle more appealing. Now,
don't you have to pay? Wait, don't you have to pay the developer like something in order to do something like that? Like you can't just
games,
huh?
Not if it's their first party games.
But I mean, what can you put on the box?
Did you put a bunch of games on the box, Slow-Mo? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, no one cares about that. There's a bunch of colorful stuff on the box, and I don't care about those games. I'm just gonna go get the Spider-Man bundle.
Okay, it wasn't God. It was Last of Us, Uncharted, and Horizon Zero Dawn. No, it was Last of Us, God of War, and Horizon was the 3. So, no, that's the thing.
So you're suggesting that they put Gears 5,
I think Halo was going to be the game that was going to
be on Hellblade 1, and Bleeding Edge on the box.
With Bleeding Edge on the box.
I'm trying to find something here.
You're right about the whole third party thing. If they're going to put a third party on the box, then they're going to have to pay that developer to do it. That is definitely
like all of their first party. The least old first party game they could put on there is Gears 5. And everyone's already played Gears 5 that wants to play Gears 5.
If they got games in Game Pass, that's probably a marketing thing that they already have that they're going, because most developers are going to be like, oh, well, this is another way that people can see our game because they're going to get it promoted on the box itself too. So I could see games like probably not the meat, because the media I don't think is coming out day one. That's coming out later. I don't know what they do. I would just think. I don't think it is it? Did they announce launch title?
I thought that was, I think they said launch window, so that could be it's coming out November, so that could be like January. It doesn't necessarily need to be actual day one, but
yeah. But I'm just thinking, I don't know. That's another way that they can kind of finesse people, because that's kind of all these bundles are just a way to finesse you into thinking you're getting some type of perceived value that you're really not getting, because half of these games either are 50 cents to 10 cents. I mean, $55 to $10 to buy separately, and they're just throwing them into a bundle. Or in the case of Halo being the one that they would have promoted on the box with the Series X, is the fact that it's a first party title. And
I'll tell you what I think they're really going to do. They're probably going to really make a strong push with some upfront money and get one of these third-party developers who are launching their game, not Cyberpunk, because we already know that's not going to happen, but someone else to put their game in Game Pass at launch, and they're going to give them enough upfront money to justify it. That's the only way I think they're probably going to try to see some way out of replacing the loss of Halo Infinite. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not. I think they'll try that. They'll push for that. But whether that actually happens or not, who knows? I think most developers will probably say, I could probably, like, they sit down with them when it comes to Game Pass, and from what multiple people who have knowledge of how the contracts work, Microsoft pays up front what that developer, they hash out what you think you would have made on sales within that time period. So if it's 2 months, they pay you up front what you would have got off of it being so normally for 2 months. And then any residual you get, with people deciding to keep the game and buy it through Game Pass for 20% off, is what you keep, which I don't think that's sustainable for them, because that's bleeding money like crazy. But it does get developers eventually to put some of their games in. Mostly there aren't really, really big games. It's like Blair Witch, that goes in After Party. Those games go in. Well, you're not getting the big games unless because I think what it really comes down to is they can't come to a price. They can't come to a price ahead of time. And then some of these developers really kind of feel like they don't want their game to feel not quality. You know what I mean? You know how like
Well,
sometimes
that's the argument that everybody's been using, where a game is put in a Game Pass and it's not of quality. They feel like it's lessening the experience of what those games are because they're in a service that you only pay some people $1 up to $15 for.
right. So it's a perception issue, and I think you almost have to pay more than what that developer thinks their game would sell in order to get over that perception. I still don't think it'll work, but I think that's what would be probably their push for Game Pass in the next couple of months to try and secure something like that for launch. But I don't think that's going to work because they would love to be able to do that and then market the hell out of that. Game Pass. Oh, yeah, get Game Pass. You're going to get to play. I don't know. I can't even think of a third-party game right now.
He's in the chat, man. Really appreciate you stopping by, brother. If you on the road, be safe going between these crazy states. I know how it is to go between blue and red lines every once in a while.
Right, Artemis. So technically, Xbox is releasing with a Gears and Forza optimized version. Yes, that's it.
That's literally what they're doing
right now. You're getting Gears 5, which you played last year, but at like
they said 120 frames per second.
Yeah, all right.
They said
all
multiplayer. Right. Well, that's multiplayer. I'll see
Look.
Most of y'all teams go run at 120 frames per second.
I will believe it when I see it. Okay, so yeah, sure, whatever. Ori at 120 frames? Hell yeah, I believe that. Look at Ori.
It's a good looking game too.
It is a good looking game, but it's a side scroller. Gears 5.
Don't tap it because it's like
Gears 5.
Gear 5's run on your PC with your
campaign. On my PC, sure.
120. That's what you get over that.
Yeah.
Okay. 1440p.
Yeah. 1440p. Definitely over 120 frames.
I'm thinking 4K, guys. 4K looks good, but 1440p with maxed out settings looks way better.
Yeah. That campaign, was it Act 2?
Oh, it's
3 with the open world.
It's ridiculous.
120 frames per second.
Once you get into that storm, ooh, you talking about your CPU trying to?
You know what?
It's gonna be rough.
I will believe it when I see it. Not saying it's not going to happen. I am just doubtful. But regardless of that, that's not very enticing. If this was releasing in 2019, hell yeah, Gears 5 as a launch game is very enticing. But in 2020, no, it's not. That's like
the lawful crackdown is going to be there.
What Sony game came out last year? Help me out here.
What Sony game? Like PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Days Gone came out last year.
Okay,
Days Gone came out last year.
That's like Sony saying, "Hey, we got the remastered version of Days Gone at launch for the PS5."
Some people will take that because it's better than Crackdown 3.
Yeah, I don't think very many people would be happy with that if that's all you had.
Dawn was a really good game.
He said what? Say what? Look,
people will take Until Dawn because that's a good game too. Oh, I forgot.
You can't mark. Look, I love Until Dawn.
I just say, how many times did the Wendigo get you?
Too many. Look, I've done everything in Until. I've let them all die. I've saved them all. I shot that heifer in the face. You know what I'm talking. I can't remember the name.
I know you're talking.
I've done it. I've done Emily. Yeah, I shot her in the face. I've done it all. I've done it all in that game. Love that game. One of my favorite games for PS4 this generation. No way in hell would people be fine with like, hey, Until Dawn super remastered version on the upgraded Decima engine with all the bells and whistles with ray tracing enabled. What? That game came out in 2015.
They would be interested in Slow-Mo because this is a great segue. What do you think about the new rumors of a certain certain trilogy that could be coming and only to play?
I don't want to hear. Wait. The Mass Effect trilogy?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it. EA.
I don't believe it either. But EA.
EA
I'll believe
does not do exclusives. They may do exclusive content, exclusive games. No. So
man,
EA, that's not happening with EA. EA's not publishing that.
just think about it though.
No, look, all the rumors of that, like Sony has gone to so many different pretty much all the publishers and developers out there to try to get exclusives for PS5, right?
Yeah,
I can see them getting like exclusive skins, exclusive missions. Actually, no, because this is a remaster of old content. Yeah, exclusive like armor for Commander Shepard, that kind of stuff. Getting the remaster no.
To most people's game of the generation, last generation.
No. No, they're not doing that. That's just not happening.
It probably would still come to PC though. It just won't come to Xbox. What do you think about that?
I got a PC.
I have a PC too,
that's good. That's good with me. But I still don't think it would happen. Even though that it would affect me. It wouldn't affect me either way because I'm getting a PS5 at launch. So it doesn't affect me either way. Either way, I'm still getting it. When they finally show it, although EA not even showing this remastered Mass Effect at that trash EA Play they had 2 months ago, you would think that like if it was really coming out sometime this year, that they would have already shown it by now. But
oh my God, Gregor says people are going to get Xboxes, then a week later turn around and get a Walmart LCD TV on Black Friday. It's only going to run at 60 hertz.
Yo, and I could see people doing that and saying this 120 frames is amazing, and not knowing it's not running at 120 frames.
It's only running at HDMI 1.4. Ooh, you talking about old standard definition. Shout out to John. He says, what if it's timed exclusive for like 3 months, slow-mo, so you can only get it on PlayStation for 3 months?
Okay, so has EA ever did timed exclusive for a whole game?
Yeah, Mass Effect.
Wait, no. Mass Effect 1 was published by Microsoft.
Then EA bought BioWare after.
Yes, and then Mass Effect 2 was on all consoles. And
they do EA Access only on one platform, which is an exclusive.
That's because Sony wouldn't allow EA Access on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, you got that.
And they finally did allow it years later. See, these weren't choices by EA.
Yeah,
EA is all about putting their stuff everywhere. You're never going to hear Madden exclusive to anything.
They never put Madden on Switch. I'm shocked.
They ain't gonna try to make it run on Switch, but look,
they made it run on a Vita. It ran on a Vita. They had it on Vita. 1 year on Vita.
I don't know, man. Look, this is all I'm saying is that EA is
Switch.
Titanfall. Oh
yeah, Titanfall. They sure did.
You're right. B Money. Titanfall. That was exclusive to Xbox.
Exclusive. Titanfall 1 never went anywhere else.
You absolutely right. They did do that.
Sure did. Don't forget Titanfall.
Was that under Andrew Wilson?
It was
Andrew Wilson CEO.
Yeah, well, either was it him or was it Peter Moore?
I don't know, but that's a long time ago. That
2013.
That's 7 days. So they haven't done another exclusive game since then.
Yeah, that's a long time they did. But he's right. But that's just the thing, though. EA, if Sony comes with the money, because it looks like it's rumored that they're throwing around $1 billion. They have $1 billion to go out and secure these IPs, bro.
So like there's this rumor that they spent $750 million on something. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard. I wonder what it is.
Now, if it turns out it's GTA,
I don't think that's enough money.
That's not enough money for GTA. That's not enough
money for GTA.
They're gonna make that in a month. Now,
I will say this though. The only reason I can see GTA being an option.
No, this is what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah.
If that is the case, and they throwing around. They got $1 billion to play with. Let's hypothetically, they got $1 billion to play with for exclusives. So they spent 3/4 of that already on one. You got 250 million left now for some smaller stuff, like, for example, when they got exclusive stuff for Control. I'm pretty sure that didn't cost anywhere near what they would have left to play around with. Maybe 10 million would have did Remedy good. Cool. We spent 30 million on making the game. You just gave us a third of our cost back just by giving you some exclusive missions and some different powers. Good. But EA and Mass Effect, knowing how revered that trilogy is, and how, I mean, that's a game you could put on Switch. It will run on a Switch. It being, that old. I don't think 250 million is enough for EA to say, we'll make it exclusive to PS5.
Probably not for a year. But see, this is another thing about Grand Theft Auto, though. I feel like the reason I can see Rockstar, or not even Rockstar, Take-Two, the reason I can see Take-Two doing something like that is because what has been the running story this whole generation with GTA is always in the top 5, or at least in the top 10 of games sold every month of every year of this generation.
And it's on all platforms.
It's on all platforms. But the funny thing about this, when the exclusivity of that game runs out, what's going to happen, Slow-Mo? Are people just not going to buy Grand Theft Auto? Or are they going to be double dipping on different platforms like PC?
Wait. Hold on. Didn't they had GTA 5 leading their PlayStation?
They sure did. It led their first PlayStation show, their showcase, where they showed Ratchet and Clank.
Kind of exclusive something with that going to is remastered on PS5.
Yes, it's remastered on PS. That was the announcement, that it was remastered and coming to PS5.
They're definitely going to remaster it for the Xbox Series.
Remaster it everywhere, but that just seems like a calling card to, like, even if it's not a year exclusive. See, that's the thing. I think Take-Two was smart. They're looking at it like, look, we take whatever amount of money it is, 500 million, 750 million. We take that from Sony because guess what? Even if they lose out all that money on day one, they go get that money later on anyway.
Okay, Guap says the PS5 version is free for the first 3 months.
Oh yeah, that's right. Is it just the online is free, or
so I think free upgrade if you have the PS4 version, upgrade for the first 3 months.
Okay, got you. And then GTA, you get $1 million a month till launch. That's what they're doing right now, because they got that's the promotion they got on GTA Online with the new DLC that just came out. Each month you can earn up to $1 million. So they getting people's pockets real fat before these new systems come out.
That's funny.
This is just interesting for me. If this was to happen with Mass Effect, I'm not mad because I'll own everything. That would suck for people that just have Xbox. That would absolutely. Can you imagine just being?
Let me just say this: like, you really do yourself a disservice if you only rep one platform. And you never want to cross over to something else. You really do yourself a disservice, because if you decide, I would say,
shout out to Artemis with the $5 super chat. Great show. I like debating you guys, man. First of all,
shout out to you, Artemis. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, because you always you bring thought-provoking conversation into the chat, and that's what we feed off you guys, and it's very appreciated. But go ahead, Slow-Mo.
I was just saying that, like, some people will see a game and it's on a different platform, and they know that, like, they're interested in that game. And I would say most notably, like, I've seen it with Xbox guys when it comes to Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've seen it with PlayStation guys when it came to Ori, and they really like the game, but then they try to, like, pretend like they don't. And it's because they don't want to go out and, like, build a PC and play it, get an Xbox and play it, or get a PlayStation and play it. And it's just like, we too old for this stuff, man. go get that platform, go get that console, go build whatever you want to build, do what you gotta do, and play the games that you want to play. Like I Mass Effect, let's say, even though I don't think EA would do it because it's kind of like not really what they do, but let's say they did decide to do it. Let's say they did decide to make Mass Effect trilogy exclusive. Excuse me, exclusive to PS5 or PlayStation ecosystem, PS4, and because a remaster will look better on current gen right now anyway, just because the series is that old, right? So, like, why wouldn't you just get the other platform to play the game? It's really not that difficult to just not fanboy for a piece of plastic.
Oh my god!
Like, play the games where you need to play them. If you like it, go play it. That's why I own everything. I literally own everything but a Stadia. A Stadia subscription. And you know what? Shout out to Mooch, because Mooch was like, Slow-Mo, you're an open-minded guy. I want to give you this buddy pass with Stadia. It's free 3 months. Try it out. And I said, you know what? Cool. I know I've been slandering it because it's funny, but let me go ahead and try it. And some games ran pretty decently. Destiny ran pretty decently. Sometimes it was just like, but the catalog, it was just 24 games. There was nothing there. And everything that was there, I could get on everything else. And it ran better on everything else. There's no reason for me to play Destiny 2 on Stadia when it runs better on literally every single platform I have it on.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, like, but to not go further down that rabbit hole, you just look, if you see a game on a different platform, if you're a hardcore gamer, it shouldn't really matter to you where the games are. Go get it. Look, if EA, does something completely out of their usual wheelhouse for the past 7 years, right? 6-7 years, and does an exclusive trilogy to PlayStation, I would be shocked. But guess what I'm doing day freaking one? If it's only on PS5, it's now on PC, day freaking one. Download it. I'm playing it.
Yeah, I agree. So Alan had something to say. He was like, what's going on with the Xbox launch titles now? Halo is the only reason I was going to get the Xbox this holiday. Now I don't feel like I'll use it because I won't have Infinite to play. And pretty much what Slow-Mo, was saying just then kind of answers your question. You're in a unique situation where the system's not out yet. If you already have an Xbox One X, you really don't have to buy anything. Even if you have a PS4, unless you want to play Spider-Man Miles Morales, you technically don't have to buy a PS5. You don't have to do
Hey, look, dude, don't buy Xbox Series X. That's the only thing. First of all, you didn't even need to buy it to play the game. Like you have an Xbox One, you were good. So you didn't have to do that. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but you didn't have to get a Series X to play that game. And if you say, well, I wanted to play it in 4K with HDR on at 120 frames per second in multiplayer and all that jazz, but I don't want to build a PC. I don't want to be in the PC ecosystem. Okay, then that means you've created an avenue where you will want an Xbox Series console, but just don't buy it at launch because you don't need it until Halo Infinite comes out. So just don't worry about it. Like play your games wherever you want to play them with whatever that comes out. Do not feel obligated to buy the hardware at launch because that's what everyone in the hardcore gaming community seems to be doing.
You don't have to be a part. Like you don't have to be a part of a conversation to belong. Like anybody that, like, even when these new systems come out, if you guys ain't got them, if you do have them, we'll celebrate with each other. We'll still treat you the same exact way. I don't know what other content creators like you feel like just because they have it, you have to have it. Just because you ain't got something I got got or you got something I don't have, I'm not going to treat you any different. I'm not going to say, oh, you a peasant or something because you ain't supporting the system that you love the most. No, this is the generation where you don't let anybody, don't feel like you have to validate yourself to buy some piece of plastic that you technically don't need, because guess what? The one thing and shout out to like everybody in the chat that does want to get the system, because if you're buying the system, buy it because it's something you want it for. I'm buying my Series X just because my friends are getting one and I want to play Destiny at a better frame rate on console. That's the platform I play majority of the time on, and that is the reason I'm buying it, not because of what Xbox is doing for me. A third party developer said they're giving me the thing I want to have the system for. If they weren't doing it, Slow-Mo, I told Slow-Mo this like months ago, I was not buying one until Bungie said what they said, because Microsoft didn't give me a reason to buy the Xbox. But what did I say, Slow-Mo, when I got through playing God of War? As soon as God of War was done and I beat it, I said, Slow-Mo, they already sold me a PS5. Day one, I don't even need to know what's coming out for the system, because I know another God of War is coming out. So I'm going to get the system day one all over again. That's the difference in these two companies. Know why you're purchasing the item you're purchasing, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks, because in the end, it's your money. You're the one that's got to live with the thoughts of you buying it, and just enjoy the piece of plastic that you bought. And, that's it.
Okay. I want to touch on some comments. Dark said, do Bungie say they're working on a new IP? They are working on a new IP that's not Destiny. It's for NetEase, who also purchased a minority share in Bungie and also kind of funded whatever this project is. They spent like $100 million on it, so it's definitely going to be a AAA game. But NetEase has mostly published. They're kind of like a smaller version of Tencent, which I know scares people, but they're a Chinese publisher. They mostly publish mobile games, so it might be a mobile game. We haven't seen it yet. I don't know, but yeah, that's what all we know of what Bungie is working on. That's not Destiny. Guap says GTA Online PS5 is free for 3 months. You don't need to own GTA 5 on PS4. Interesting. The PS5
just giving everybody GTA 5 on. It might be a gate. I don't know. That's interesting. That
is interesting. The
cool.
PS5 GTA 5 upgraded isn't free, that is confusing.
Oh, so the Platinum Edition they're not giving people for free, but they're just giving everybody. So basically, they're making GTA Online free for everybody on PlayStation day one for the first 3 months.
Okay, so the campaign.
Oh, I remember this, because remember when they showed it, Slow-Mo, we said, oh, they must be making the online completely separate from the game, because that's the only way they can do this. Because if they're making online, it has to be its own thing outside of the game by itself. Because right now, the only way you could play online is if you have the game.
Well, that makes sense, because they make a ton of money off of the online. It's all the expansions. I don't know if you play GTA Online, or like I'm up to like a level like 140 something on. Like I used to play it faithfully. I haven't played it in years now, but when I used to play it faithfully, all the updates that came out, they were all free. And they could do it for free. You didn't have to pay anything for it, because people was paying tons of money and funding that and everything else Rockstar does through shark cards, through rebuying the game to get a cheaper version of spending less to get more money, yada yada yada. So GTA Online is a big cash cow for them. I can see them. That makes sense, having it be free for 3 months to get people in on PS5, because it's a money-making machine, but it's a money-making machine very similar to how Fortnite's a money-making machine, but Fortnite's free.
It's free. But
somehow it makes more money than any other game out there. And why is that? It's the battle passes.
Yep.
It's the skins the kids gotta have. It's the stupid dances that they gotta have. It's when they decide to come out with Aquaman skins and Captain America skins, and you spend $15 on that in the game.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is what kids spend their money on, and next thing you know, they spent 3 times as much as what you and I would have paid for a full game at launch. So like that's what happens with GTA Online, and so that's how they make a lot of their money. So that makes sense. But then like the GTA 5 story mode not being free, I mean, Yeah, they spent money on voice actors. They spent money
That game
on.
got paid for 30 times over by now.
Well,
Probably
of
10
course,
times
of
over at
course,
this
of
point.
course.
They ain't worried about that on that single player.
But look, that's a lot more work to remaster that to get
Yeah,
that, because now you got scripted scenes that you have to redo
redo.
and environments that have to be redone. Like, that's a lot more work than just you got the one big map of you. I mean, it's all in that one big map anyway, the story portion. But all that other scripted stuff that happens, it's a lot more work to work on the campaign than just the online portion, where people are really just going around ganking one another, blowing up their cars.
We need to play that.
And
Man. We need to get on GTA Online.
dude, look.
We need to do it, man. Because it's like my wife plays it, and it's pretty fun when I watch her.
Oh yeah, I forgot you told me she died. Dude, that's wild.
They Friday nights, every Friday night, man. Every Friday night, she got a crew that they go in there, and they've been doing that religiously for the last 6 years.
Do they do the heist?
Yes, they do.
Okay, look.
Her level is ridiculous.
Let me tell you a story. This is hilarious, right?
Oh, before you tell it, let me get Artemis. He says, but I saved $3,000 to buy all these next gen systems. I need to spend this money before the COO goes to take it. So let me tell you what you do with that. Let me tell you what you do with that $3,000 that you have there, sir. First of all, you take 1,000 of it and get everything you want for your PlayStation. That's all you. That's what you do. As of right now, take 1,000. Get all the accessories you want for your PlayStation. Get the system. Save the rest of it for the brand new VR when it comes out, because there is a new VR that's coming out. And then take that other $2,000.
Like 2 years.
Yeah, like 2 years. And that other $2,000, go buy you the best PC, or build yourself, I should say, the best PC you can buy.
You know what? I don't want to always tell the people who think about PC, or when you suggest PC, to build a PC. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, if you don't feel comfortable building,
can pay somebody that knows how to do it for you.
Yeah, or you could just you could go to some like NZXT. They will build it for you. You could pick all your parts, and they'll build it correctly. They'll make sure it's ready to ship and it won't break or anything, and you'll get a warranty with it. It'll be awesome. So yeah, I agree. Take that other 2,000 and build yourself a PC, and now you got all the games that would have been going to Xbox on a PC that is more powerful, and you're good. The
only time I'll say that don't do that is when, like I said, in a particular situation where your friend, like if Xbox is your home, now everybody wants a PlayStation because of the PlayStation games. But if Xbox is you consider home, and that's where your friends play, and the games you like playing aren't going to be cross-platform play, then just buy the Xbox, because your enjoyment with your friends matters more. But if you're talking about just for your own self-enjoyment, don't buy an Xbox, buy a PC, because it's going to be more beneficial to you down the line, because you're not losing out on anything that Xbox can give you, and you can still play all those same games. So go ahead.
And then you can learn so much about PCs by, you buy a pre-built, and then if you want to upgrade your RAM, like that's actually really easy to do. You buy a RAM kit, you just turn your PC off, take the tempered glass off of it, open the side latch, pull the RAM out, put in the slots of your replacement RAM. Make sure you press it on both sides. Make sure you hear that click. You're done. I mean, it's really easy. I mean, and then you can start messing around with that. Well, I wouldn't say start messing around with overclocking yet, but I mean, it's not as difficult as it used to be for PC gaming. Like, people try to scare you. Like, of course, you have to deal with the cheaters. There are cheaters in PC, way more. But people are like, oh, my PC doesn't work. Look, upgrade your drivers, upgrade your Windows, do your Windows updates. You'll be fine. The story I wanted to tell you, and the reason why I don't want to go back to GTA is that I be messing around with people too much sometimes. Like, I was playing with my friend, and like one of my close personal friends that I've known since high school, and we just got finished doing a mission. And you know how sometimes in GTA Online you finish doing a mission and they put you back into the world, but then like you're in like one location and your car is like all the way across the map or something. And so that's what they did to my friend. they put his car near me and my car, and they put him like off in like the desert somewhere. So he stole a car, and he's flying down to get back to his car because he knows me, and he knows I'm gonna mess with his car. So he's like, "Yo, Slow Mo, do not destroy my car." And I'm like, "I ain't gonna destroy your car, man. I got a gas can out already though. I'm pouring gas all over his car." And I ran a little line all the way down the block.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shot the line on the pavement so that it set it on fire. And the fire slowly started going to his car. And I got my car and I drove off. And so I'm like on the highway on the back to the city. And I hear this explosion. And I hear my boy going, "Damn it, I told you don't mess with my car." I'm like, "Yo, I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not even near your car." Yo, it was hilarious. Like, it's stuff like that about GTA that I loved, but then I don't want to go back to being the kind of guy that's just like, I used to just go in that game and just be going on a killing spree, just killing everyone all around, all the NPCs, 5 stars, everything. Yeah.
So shout out to Gregor. Why Slow Mo whispering all slow, trying to make PC gaming sound intimate. Shout out to Godzilla. I'm level 780 in GTA Online, sitting on $1 billion. Been grinding since 2013, bro. You gotta. So you live in that Jay-Z life. I got you.
Yeah. I probably would have been there too if my friends didn't stop playing it. Because like with me, when I was playing, it was just having fun with my friends that really kept me engaged. Like, we played it every single night, and then my friends slowly started to fall off. And when you play it by yourself, like you get all the money that you need. You trick out all your cars. I mean, I had the little bug. Like the little bug car. I mean, I turned that thing up. I had lights flashing at the bottom of it. I had I tricked the whole thing. I'm just like, this is a way. I'm not doing anything anymore. I stopped right after the heist came out is when I stopped. But yeah. I mean, look, that makes sense that, you want to make that free so that it gets people on the PS5 into the ecosystem again. You don't want, because they got so much momentum with the game and it keeps steady. It's always charting. You don't want the next generation to, have barriers for people to get back in. Make it free so they have no excuses not to jump back into it and keep playing it.
Oh, I got to play with Guap. You hear what he just said? Let him know when we want to do some heists. He said he'll give us the lion's share of the pot.
Oh, hey, that's what's up, yo. That's what's up. I got it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Guap is the man. That's all. Calyrex is saying he still plays occasionally. I think Grand Theft Auto is one of those things you just take in short bursts unless you're completely invested in the game, and because that's one of those games that you will literally lose your life in it if you continue just to play it.
I tell you, that game takes forever to load. I got
it on PC. Dude, that's what I can't. I hope that's the improvement we get next generation.
Yeah, I have it on PC now. I thought with my M.2 SSD, this thing is gonna be blazing fast. It's gonna be so fast. A minute in 30 seconds.
I think it's running your social security number as it's trying to log you into online.
I was like, how is it still taking this long?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
But the game super fun.
Yeah, Kyler says it's so much of a grind. They push those shark cars. They do. They push those cars real hard. The fact that they can literally give the game away for free with the platinum version of the what's the name version of the game, and basically it gives you all those points up front, or basically the money up front is.
I feel so out of touch. I feel so out of touch with what's going on with the game now.
I do. But that's the thing, I think it's just because we don't really communicate with people that play on a consistent basis. Dude, if you guys really want to want us to get in there and play with y'all, I have no problem with it, because it's something that I actually did enjoy when I played it. It's just that it's like one of those games, if you ain't got the community that wants to play it with you, it kind of just feels like you said, a grind. It's I don't want to grind just to grind, but grinding is secondary when you're having fun with your friends. And I can see people literally doing 4 or 5 heists literally in 1 or 2 nights just because they're having fun with their friends. And next thing you know, the grind's not as bad. So
I'm not getting on tonight, Guap. I'm actually going out of town, going on vacation. So like tonight, I gotta actually go to sleep so I can get up early and take care of a whole bunch of crap before I end up driving 3 hours to this beach. Private beach. Don't worry, people. I'm not going to a public beach where there's COVID everywhere. No, private beach with a Airbnb and all that good stuff. So we're going to be. I mean, if it's just me and my, I'm bringing. We all going to have masks, of course.
Make sure you take some alcohol so you can spray down the bed sheets.
Oh no, we bringing our own sheets. We bringing our own. We bringing our own comforters, our own sheets, our own pillows, our own everything.
Just like my wife,
bro. Everything when we get there, that Airbnb, everything that's already in there, we're taking it all. We're gonna put it in a closet.
Yep.
And when we're done, we're gonna put it all back out where it was. And we're going to spray everything. We sprayed everything down with Lysol sprays. We got a whole big box of it. We're going to empty all of them. We ain't catching anything.
Everything, the curtains and everything getting sprayed. Let's go.
That's right. Look, I'm not messing around. Like not with me and my family. Like we need to get away. Yeah, I haven't had a vacation in over a year, so I'm like, look, let me go ahead, do something. Get away, but like we do it the safe way. And so we got Airbnb. It's real secluded. No neighbors. I mean, it's got neighbors. I'm not in the woods, but it's like supposed to be near a beach. We seen everything. It costs some money, but it's all good. You do what you gotta do. And yeah, we're just gonna spray everything down, take all their comforters, throw them in the closet, and we're gonna be good. We're gonna be there until Sunday.
Yeah, be safe, man.
Hey, look, this is what I'm worried about.
You going through city lines, you got to be safe.
Yeah, look, this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about just driving and staying awake. That's why I'm like, tonight, no gaming tonight, nothing tonight. When I get done with this,
Rogue Legends, Rogue Company.
No Rogue Company. I played a little bit of Rogue earlier today. I need one more win to get the 100 wins award on PC, and since I've unlocked all the characters, there's really nothing else for me to do but just continue to keep bodying people on PC. Right. So I think I'm just going to start building it up on the other, because they don't have cross save, but they do got cross play. So like my Xbox and Switch and my PlayStation versions don't have anything. So I'm gonna have to, like, as far as unlock characters and all that stuff. So I think I'll just start like getting achievements and trophies on the other platforms, just because,
Well, that was a really good video you put out earlier about the new characters and stuff. I didn't even know that there were screenshots of them. So
yeah, very early screenshots. Like they got no textures like Craig's face. So so we don't really know what these characters look like. And I there's some talk that there may be a third character that might actually a woman that looks very similar to Scorch. That might actually be the character they're going to reveal next month. And I missed that in the video. So I kind of like, for anyone that, if that's true, I apologize to anyone that watched the video and thought there was only 2. But so far, I haven't seen anything that was really like verifying that yet. And she looks very similar to Scorch. So I kind of feel like that may have been that leak may have been like a very early version of the design for the Scorch character. But regardless, next, the leaks were cool. Like that PvE mode is basically horde mode from Gears, but they got different difficulty levels. It's multiple waves are going to be coming at you from multiple different directions. I can't wait for that. But that looks like that's probably not coming until like next year, because they didn't mention it in their roadmap for this year. So. But yeah, I appreciate that. The video actually doing pretty well, like especially for my videos. My videos.
What I saw when you got it up, I was like, yeah, because I'm starting to see you get a lot of traction with your Rogue stuff. So just keep doing that, man. I think that's a game, especially since you love it, you can really become some type of authority on that game. But I am not going to keep you any longer, probably a minute or so, but get ready to get you up out of here because you got a long drive to do in the morning. But
they're talking about Fall Guys in the chat. Did you download that?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's free. It's not free, but it's available on PS Plus if you have PS Plus.
Yep.
I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, I was gonna say if you played it, it's freaking hilarious.
No, I mean, I saw you saw the video I retweeted, the guy that made it all the way to the end, and then that dude waited for him and then pushed him off.
He pushed them off.
It's
so real in that game.
I was laughing so hard at that. I was like, I gotta play this game. We gotta have a big, like, good party night where we all just playing this. Because I'm telling you, I'm pushing Lucas' ass off the map. Like I'm waiting for her to come up, and then I'm shoving her off just cause I got to. Now, but no, I mean, like, when I get back, I'm definitely trying to play that. We gotta get up for some stuff.
That when you get back, man. That game is literally. I mean, it just lets you know how
we gotta stream it too. We gotta stream it too. That's the kind of game that's like that's streamable. Like people will be laughing. Like that Grounded stream you guys watch me get punked by ants and ladybugs and mites and whatever the else that was in that backyard. Oh god, that game.
Gregor just said Fall Guys gonna have Slow-Mo's ankles tripping over everything.
Hey man, the way them people run, like I got more coordination than that. Go ahead, Gregor, man.
That Floyd says that would be dope. Don't tell Luca I said that. So, all right, guys. Well, the one thing I do want to ask you, because this is something I didn't get a chance to talk to you about. We're gonna tie this up in less than a couple of minutes. WAP, what did you think of it, man? What did you think of the song, the video that everybody's talking about over the weekend?
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I saw the video. I was working. It was on mute. I was just looking at the video. I don't know what the words are. I don't know what the hook is. I don't know what the lyrics are. I was just looking. Looked all right to me.
Oh, yes.
It looked okay to me. I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what the big deal is. So.
Brother, I was looking at the video and I was like, any man that is mad at this video truly doesn't understand what a strip club looks like. That's what this video is. It's literally every man's dream of what will be standing in front of them in a strip club. And any guy that's out there saying, oh man, this is too vulgar, this is too this, or this is too that, you a goddamn lie. If they would have, if Cardi B or Megan was to walk in front of your face and say that to your face, you would have a completely different reaction. So let's be for real. But no, man, I think it's a little overblown with the conversation that people are having. I get it if you don't like it and stuff like that, but kind of keep that opinion to yourself, because it's just art imitating life. And this has been going on for years. People have been talking about sex in videos. Guys been talking about dude, think of Luke and Trick Daddy. What were they saying back in the 80s and in the 90s, bro?
Yo, 2 Live Crew.
2 Live Crew. Like what?
Oh man, you're taking me back now, yo.
Listen, man, think about in the late 2000s, in the 21st century. What was Weeknd saying? What do you think the lyrics of "Coming"? I feel it coming. What do you think that is? Do you think he's just saying, oh, I feel you coming towards me, baby? No, that is not what those lyrics mean. So trust me, you guys gotta read between the lines. I'm not saying to people in this chat, but bro, y'all need to read between the lines of some of the artists out here that you say, oh, this shouldn't be a thing. This is setting our society back thousands of years. We don't want our young women or our males to think that this is how a female should be portrayed. Like, no, this is how they always been portrayed. Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim were doing this way earlier than these two.
Yeah, so true.
I thought it was funny, but I'm just like you, Slow-Mo. I did listen to the song though, but man, I looked at that video like 7 or 8 times.
Good grief.
Somebody told me that. Did you see the new video? I was like, whoa, what video? The Cardi B. So I listened to the song first, and I was like, I gotta go. I said, and he was like, there's a video for it. I said, what? So I went to go look at the video, and before I even clicked on it, I was like, it's got 27 million views on it. It's only been out for 6 hours.
Of course, it's got 27 million views on it.
7 million views in the video at that time. It said uploaded 6 hours ago. I was like, oh, this is legit gonna be what I need to see. So shout out to Megan, shout out to Cardi B for throwing that thing at the screen and not social distancing, in the sand, because that was hot, bro. But don't be mad about that stuff. But Slow Mo, it has been a pleasure. I am gonna get you up out of here because I know you got a long drive. I want you to be safe on your trip, brother. I appreciate you. Please tell these wonderful people where they can follow you at and check out your content, bro.
Yo, well, right before I do that, did you see this tweet about Sam Fisher and Rainbow Six Siege?
No.
Sam Fisher is going to be in he's going to be an operator in Rainbow Six.
Oh my god! Can we just? They're just not going to give us a Splinter Cell game.
They're going to put him in every Ubisoft game, but his own game. He's going to be. They're going to have this guy in them damn dance games before they put him in an actual Splinter Cell game. He gonna be dancing with the dancing pandas. This is crazy. Look, if you're a Siege guy, I will be super hyped to be able to play with Sam Fisher.
Oh, yeah, I'll be super hyped to play with Sam Fisher with all the galaxies he has.
But good, can you just they got a Netflix TV show? I mean, what?
Free to play game.
Make a freaking Splinter Cell. Like, what is so hard about that? Like, oh my god, I can't. Okay, my bad. No, you guys can check me out at my YouTube channel, Slow Mo Backslap. I do content on all games of all platforms, but definitely most recently Rogue Company content. As you can see, pretty much 90% of the time when I talk about games, I'm talking about Rogue Company because it's awesome. And I really enjoy making videos on that as well as everything else. And when I do make videos on other games, I like to also not just talk about the game that's coming out, but I like to talk about the developer, their history, their how they develop games. I like to try to find some detail that makes them unique, that kind of stuff. So if you like that, check out my content. Hope you enjoy it. And good show, bro.
Yeah, man. I put his link to his channel in the comment section. So if you guys are in the chat, if you guys want to subscribe, which you should, because if you like this show, you'll definitely like his. Make sure you hit him up, man, because he's doing amazing work. He's close to 500, so let's get him over to 500 by the time he comes back from his vacation. Hopefully 550 by the time he comes back from vacation. But what day are you coming back?
Sunday.
All right, so Sunday. So definitely want to follow his channel because next week the show will be transitioning over to his because we do week by week on each other's channel. So if you want to know all the information about the show that's going to be going down next week between me and him, 9:00 Tuesday next week, subscribe to his channel because that's where the show is going to be. Then back over here the week after that. Outside of that, man, there's Gaming Forte everywhere. YouTube, Twitter. You already know about the YouTube channel because you're here already. Hit that like button, the subscribe button. Follow me over on Twitter at gaming_forte. Xbox Live is the same thing. Gaming Forte. If you guys want to play Xbox Live, hook up, play Destiny. I've been really branching out on Game Pass, playing a bunch of different games just to break the habit of just playing nothing but Destiny. So if you guys got some stuff that y'all want to play, hit me up, send me messages, and we could definitely work some stuff out to get into some games with each other. Outside of that, man, you guys have a great and amazing week. Shout out to everybody that did super chats today. I really, truly appreciate it because you guys don't have to do stuff like that because we do this stuff just to, not only make ourselves happy, but to bring a little bit more clarity and joy to you guys' life because we don't want to be like every other podcast out there. So you guys have a great week. Slow Mo, I will see you next week when you come back, and everybody have a great and safe week. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.